PETA's attack on Warhammer 40k was harebrained at best. Spiky bits. Welcome back, Hobby Maniacs. I'm Rob Bear from SpikyBits.com. And in this video, we're going to talk about one of the strangest moments in Warhammer 40k history. And that's when PETA decided to go after plastic fur on miniatures. Yes, that's right. You heard correctly. Molded plastic cloaks triggered an entire publicity campaign for PETA a few years back. Let's break it down because this really is too good to miss. So back in 2017, PETA sent a letter to Games Workshop asking them to stop putting fur on their miniatures. And they weren't talking about real fur. No animals were actually involved here. Just sculpted resin and miniature cloaks on the little sci-fi miniatures. And their argument was that these fake fur details somehow promoted animal cruelty. So we here at Spiky Bits didn't waste any time poking fun at the whole thing back then. And for the next week straight, it seemed like we were dropping a bunch of tutorials on how to sculpt fur using green stuff and different methods, and just basically double down on the absurdity, because that's kind of what it was, to try to get that sort of publicity stunt going with something you don't know much about. So Games Workshop themselves kept quiet as first, and then they slipped a little perfect response into their satirical Astra Militarum blog that isn't around anymore, kind of sad, saying fur was spiritually corrupt, and that soldiers were told to burn any pelts in the little short story. It was obviously classic GW, kind of leaning into their whole response, but staying in verse and just taking a cheeky jab at the whole absurdity of it without breaking character. And then meanwhile, PETA, the very next day, before all this went down, claimed victory because for their campaign, because they got 250,000 people over to their website. And but if you looked at the feedback back then, of course none of the comments are still up now, around 95% of the comments were basically slamming them for, I don't know, completely missing the point and just the ridiculousness of it all. So I think overall, at least for me, at the heart of it, this episode really showed how outsiders can really mislead hobby spaces in general. And Warhammer isn't promoting fur hunting. It's a game about fictional warriors in a grimdark future where entire planets get wiped out on any given day. And the idea that someone would confuse plastic bits on miniatures with a real world message is kind of hilarious in and of itself. So fast forward to 2025, Games Workshop is still sculpting fur onto miniatures. So what's the takeaway here? I think creative hobbies shouldn't be used as a soapbox for unrelated causes, especially when they're based on fiction. This is hugely fictional universe, and nothing in the real world really applies except for maybe some design elements, who knows. And honestly, most hobbyists probably love animals. I know we do here, and we'd rather hang out with our pets than most people. If it wasn't for game stores, man, I don't know how I'd interact with folks sometimes. No, that's a lie. So do you remember the saga when it happened? Because it has been a few years, and I just saw it in our article, so I wanted to bring it up again to everybody because, well, it kind of came and went, and I was like, man, that was a really fun time. Let's bring that one back. Or is this the first you've heard of it? Either way, if you enjoyed this weird little chapter of hobby history, let us know. Drop a comment below and tell us your thoughts on the matter.
Thanks for watching. Supporting us is super easy. Just click on the article links provided, subscribe, or follow us right here. And remember, next time you're searching for the best Warhammer news, type Spiky Bits into Google to get the most accurate info. See you in the next one.